This is the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Let's go nuts! It's Jimmy Nuts! Right out of the door!
With your hosts, Mark Martinez.
Because I'm the Mark and I'm awesome!
The Guru.
Today I'm going to break it down for all you simpleton sweat hogs listening out there in Can Crusher Nation. I don't mean to come out here week after week and toot my own horn, but toot, toot.
And the English Professor.
It is I, the English Professor from the County of Kings, speaking the English of the Queen.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke, the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
And welcome back to another week of Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Mark the Mark Martinez, in a continually being revamped studio. With me is the glorious guru, Chad Perena, and looking like the 1991 version of Rocky Maivia, the English Professor, John Padalano. Hi, men.
Hey, I'm just wearing I'm wearing a collar and elbow t-shirt that accentuates all the right parts. And if that makes me look like The Rock, holy cow. Kudos to Al Stowe for creating a product that makes me, of all people, look like The Rock.
It's like you have a high turtleneck on. Like, not the full turtleneck, like the 3/4 or half turtleneck that was really cool. I never had one because that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the shirt you'd wear after a weekend at parties out in the woods.
What?
To cover up your, hickey necklaces and shit.
Oh.
Let's just leave it at I look like The Rock today.
Okay.
I said Rocky Maivia. It's two different people.
There's a difference. I'll take Rocky Maivia. That's fine.
Now Chad brought up something. Were you getting hickeys out in the woods? Were you that guy?
No, that's what guy, used to wear longer shirts for and stuff like that, is to cover that shit up, guys and girls. I mean, I know you wouldn't have any experience with that.
No, but that's true. You don't have to laugh about it. That's true. I was not going in the woods to make out with anybody. I don't care if Jennifer Aniston was at Halton. I wasn't going rummaging in the woods to make out with anybody. Wrestling was on.
Yeah.
So teens in motions dances I did.
At least wrestling was on at some point. God knows it really wasn't this week.
Yeah, that's true.
It really wasn't. This could be a short show, but we have a lot of business to take care of in the front end of the show. So I'm going to go first because that's how eventful my week was. Monday, and it's going to be broken down day by day. Monday, okay? Come home from work, and when you go to Sam's Club or Walmart or any place that you can buy like the big ass packs of toilet paper, like 40, maybe 90, maybe 900 packs of toilet paper. Well, that sits alongside our toilet in our bathroom. I walk in and I see this thing in the kitchen. So, I don't know, maybe it grew feet or something and it rolled down into the kitchen.
And it wasn't you this time. You weren't drunk the night before.
I know, because it was Monday. I was at work. 6 rolls of toilet paper shredded throughout the house, and a box of toilet paper sits in my kitchen. I wonder how that happened.
Ethan.
Sounds like a puppy to me.
Ethan. Yeah, it might have been Ethan. Tuesday was an all right day. I had to... I interviewed Chad Miller for the Spotlight. You guys, if you've not listened to the Keith Miller Memorial Invitational about the baseball that's going to happen and wrestling card that's going to happen in DuBois in the middle of June, make sure you go back, listen to that. Tickets are on sale now. Chad spilled some extra names that are out there, kind of leaked what I'm going to be doing and, you know, what everybody else is going to be doing here on Can Crusher, so we're really excited about that. Wednesday was Wednesday. Let's just roll fast forward to Thursday, because we were going to record the fantasy booking show that we do and we put out on Friday. Okay, these guys are ready. They've sent me the stuff. They're both on time sending me their business this week. So I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. We're going to be able to do this. I get home Friday and nothing's chewed in the house or anything. I'm like, all right, this is awesome. All right, I'll go upstairs, take care of my business, get ready to record with these guys. Turn the PlayStation on, no internet. Turn on the Roku, no internet. I'm like, oh, look at my phone, doesn't have Wi-Fi. What in the hell is going on? Well, I look at the Wi-Fi box then, finally. And I know, oh, it's missing something. The wires that go to the Wi-Fi box, that's what's missing.
Squirrels.
I have squirrels in the house, apparently. No, because you question one little black dog in my house, and he gets the pouted eyes. Yep, I did it. So now I'm on the phone with Xfinity for half an hour just on the wait. Half an hour telling them this is what happened. Cool, how fast? Well, you're calling me pretty soon. You might be able to get it tomorrow. I'm like, all right, we could record this, and I can still get it up. Nope, it only came Saturday. And it came Saturday after I'd left to go to IWC. So that's what I did last night. I hooked my internet back up because this new dog loves eating everything. And this is where Kelly and I are getting into a fight. Not like a physical, Ronda Rousey against The Rock fight or anything like that. I want to get both of you guys' opinion real quick on this.
Nope.
Yep. You are getting right in on this. Because you're, puppy lover. John, she won't do anything to you either.
She likes me. Yeah.
She likes you both.
I was talking about our own wives finding out about this shit.
Oh. Miggy is 8. Pretty much, when we leave, he goes to bed. On our bed, sleeps the whole time. Max, the busy one, clearly. I want to put him in a cage from the time Kelly leaves from work, 7 o'clock, until I get home at 1 o'clock. She's like, no, we're not doing that. No way, no how. We'll put up gates. I said, well, that hinders Miggy. The one that's not doing anything can't get from upstairs to downstairs if we're going to keep him upstairs, or get to his food, or they're only going to be in the kitchen. That's not cool. Miggy wants to lay wherever he wants to. He's not doing anything bad. And clearly, Max is Superman or Batman or
Crypto.
Yeah, he can get through anything. Well, okay. This is how much I know about comics. He can get through anything. So we're going to have to get a Hell in a Cell and put it in some place so he doesn't get out. So why not buy a cage? No, we're not buying him a cage. That's not right. Then why does Miggy get to roam around the house? Because Miggy's not doing anything. Thoughts?
Oh, you're getting dimed out, dude.
Kelly, you know how I feel about you. You're absolutely darling. I haven't been there in a while. When I am, you treat me better than I deserve. You feed me. You wash my clothes. You are a wonderful person. There's a right way to kennel a dog. It's not for 8 hours. It's not for 10 hours. It's for 3 or 4. Until he's a little older and a little calmer, it's probably the right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah!
Yeah, I'm with Mark on this one.
I gotta say, I'm with you too, because when I get the new puppy next week, it's gonna start right off in that. He's not gonna be allowed to have the run of the house. The other two, those little fuckers, do enough damage as it is. I don't need them encouraging a 9-week-old puppy, but they're just assholes. But yeah, I gotta go. That's the way you train them, and then when they kind of learn their lesson, you leave the cage out there, the crate out there is a reminder, and it generally works.
And now
with him, I don't know.
It's not going to work. And then, wait, one more. Last night, I get home from the IWC event, which we'll talk about, we'll cover here and there, because I went live, so I don't know what the stream looked like. John might have seen a little bit of it. I don't know. You had
Go ahead.
You had baseball games and such. I really don't know. I get home from Pittsburgh, and I do get to sit down because nobody's home, and it's really cool. So I play a game of baseball real quick, and I get a phone call, which is now like 9:30 at night. My dad already had plans to go up, help him do some stuff to the house, this, that, and the other thing. Hey, my TV went. All right. What do you want me to do? I'm going to Walmart right now. Okay, going to Walmart right now. I'll call you back if I need anything. Oh, okay, cool. He doesn't call me back, so I'm like, all right, I'm in the clear. 10:30.
He's stuck in the yard
Yeah,
with the snow.
He's snow. 10:30, calls me back. I can't get it hooked up. Dad, it's 10:30 at night. Can I do this tomorrow when I come up anyway? Yeah, I hear the disappointment in his voice. Well, yeah. I said, we got the podcast due in the morning. Da-da-da-da-da. I said, noon. I'll be up around noon. All right. So he had to buy a TV that had the Roku in it. Spend an extra set amount of money. Lots of amount of money. Instead of buying a normal size TV for his house, 55 inch or so, and then a $20 Roku thing. No, he went 65 inches with the Roku, so we're looking at probably $800 last night because we had to go to Walmart, lickety-split, and then who knows what he did.
I mean, was he missing, like, the Jeffersons and
Gunsmoke.
Alice? And
no, Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke?
Bonanza.
Those are my shows.
All that you can watch on the Roku.
Andy Griffith show?
So my week has been great for the podcast, essentially, because I was excited to talk to Chad Miller and the interview that we already have in the hopper for this week's show. Really touches home with me. We spoke with Trophy Boy Tyler Klein about all things wrestling, and it's a powerful one to me. We'll just leave it at that. I want you guys to make sure to listen. I really enjoyed talking with Tyler, and I think I might have worked things over with Calvin Couture because he was, they're the runway. Hopefully Calvin and I are now on the same page and he doesn't hate me anymore, which is hard. Sometimes Calvin just hates me.
Not hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you guys both hate me.
Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, John?
You guys remember that pay-per-view? I think it was in 96. Because Austin won the 96 King of the Ring. So it might have been 95, 96. I'm not sure. But, they got hit with rain. And then, the following Raw, they showed footage of all the wires, soaking in water. I mean, it rained hard. And the pay-per-view was glitchy. It was when Savio Vega beat Austin in either a leather strap match, a chain match, or something. And if Vega won, the $1 Million Man had to retire from the WWF. Then it had to be 96 because then he showed up the following week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks as the mysterious fourth man of the NWO. But they re-showed the pay-per-view. They redid it, not re-showed it. They redid it. So in this instance, it wasn't rain. It was a Miggy that destroyed, a Max. I'm not going to blame Miggy. It was a Max that destroyed our wiring. So I'm going to pretend that we did the show when it was supposed to air, but Max shoot through the wiring. And so next week, we're just going to, the same exact storylines are going to happen next week, and you fans won't miss a thing.
Good. I'm excited for that. I really am.
So it happened, and it's going to happen again.
Right. We just couldn't air it.
Right.
Yeah. How was your week, though?
Good. Some interesting news. I know you guys heard this, Chad and Mark, and maybe some of you listeners have. A park out this way, close to where I live, Ross Township, outside of Pittsburgh. Is being was renamed after Bruno Sammartino. So that's pretty awesome. I got to thinking about that. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but you really can't overstate what that guy did. I went back, watched some videos of his, and people are always going to hate something. Do-nothings will always hate something. There are people that hate Bruno. That's fine. He put his work out there to be loved or hated. But you can't overstate what he, the foundation that he was. Some people say he was a territorial champion. I don't think he traveled like maybe Ric Flair did 15 years later, but that guy still went all over the world defending his title, and he was selling out the Northeast. I mean, you want to talk about A, carrying a company, and B, putting it on the map. That's what he did. He put the WWWF, not ours, the original one, on the map for those, 10 years, 12 years, whatever it was. And then they bring him back, and he set a pattern of what champions were. Pedro Morales, Bob Backlund, even the in-between temporary holders, the Ivan Koloffs, Iron Sheiks. They were wrestlers first, and I think he kind of set that foundation.
Let's say the one thing in reading about Bruno, he was my mom's favorite wrestler ever. To what John said, he traveled, but he might not have drawn. The thing that we have to keep in mind for back then was we didn't have the media outlets, obviously, that we do today, or back even 20 years. So your regional champions, 3-5 state area or whatever, that was who you saw. That was who you were familiar with. Unless you got a book, a wrestling magazine, which another thing that wasn't prevalent, you didn't know who these guys were. You didn't know who the Sheik was. You didn't know who's the guy that first started dressing up as a woman, Gorgeous George.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't know him. You didn't know who the Von Erichs were. You didn't know who the Harts were. So you can't. I get irritated. Well, Bruno didn't draw as well as Hogan, or he didn't. Well, no, didn't have the exposure that he did.
Right.
So, how many consecutive times did he sell out Madison Square Garden?
A million.
A record that still stands today. Was
187. It might have been 186. Yeah.
It's just a ridiculous amount of times. Find somebody else that did that, even in the age when the exposure was. Flair never did it. Hogan never did it.
Find a band that has done that.
Yeah.
You always say, okay, it's entertainment. Well, a band's entertainment, wrestling's entertainment. 187 times at the same place.
And
yeah.
When you look at these attendance records, when these, for 60, 70, 80,000 things, or 80,000 fans, it wasn't football. It wasn't baseball. It most assuredly wasn't fucking basketball. It was wrestling setting these fucking attendance records. Sorry, I got a beef with basketball this week.
Yeah,
I'm not going to...
We're not getting into it. Oh my God, I'm going to die all of a sudden. So, okay, other than having a beef with basketball, how was your week there, working boy?
It was a week. I actually got fired on Tuesday. So I didn't work. I'm sorry. No, it's all right. Made a judgment call on background check that I didn't feel comfortable with, and it was cause to let me go. Oh. So shit happens. I still stand by my decision. It is what it is. So now I'm going to go work for the pool guy whose half of his business burned down and earn 50% more an hour.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. Yeah, I've been there and it sucks, and sometimes it takes a while to get back on your feet. But I'm glad there was something there for you. And then there's always this podcast,
right?
Yeah, unless, Mark gets drunk and drags toilet paper down and chews on the fucking internet cords again.
That's what happens. So one more big announcement coming out this week as Chad, I'm going to let you run with this because we're going to make another maiden voyage someplace, right?
Yeah, we are. I had to think what the fuck, because there's a couple of them actually coming up. WrestleCade is back on for this November, the last Saturday and Sunday in November.
Right after Thanksgiving.
It's a 2-day event this year. If things get relaxed a little bit more, they're going to kick it to 3 days. Tickets go on sale tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
The 27th and 28th of November.
They're not disclosing anything right now other than saying that there is going to be multiple first-time attendees as far as superstars, and they're still going to have the matches that we like, the cards that we liked, and that. Not a lot coming out, but it's a step forward right now. Something that we very much missed last year, and obviously the pandemic and the health of the nation takes priority, but we got smacked out of Ring of Honor pay-per-view, fucking Crockett Cup, and WrestleCade all last year. But looking forward to that and details. We'll be picking up tickets tomorrow night.
Yeah. Go there, guys. There is actually a payment plan, too. They said they'll work with people with the payment plan. So check out, I think it's just WrestleCade.com.
Yeah.
Check it out tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. They'll release the tickets and what's going on. And then to stay posted there to see everybody you're going to get to meet. The meet and greet's amazing. The events that they put on is awesome. So that's probably the biggest news in wrestling this week, is the WrestleCade's coming back.
Oh, the stuff that you can pick up there, the apparel,
the
drawings, the belt makers that are there that are selling their stuff, and of course, whatever superstars there. I mean, hell, even fucking Jimmy Garvin 2 years ago when we went with selling Freebird shirts.
Yeah.
And he's as bald as I am now, and here's his fucking shirt when he had the, long flowing brown locks that were down to the middle of his back.
Where do we want to start? Just run the gamut, because we can just touch on WWE in the first segment and do the rest like we normally do, because... All right, here's Mark's breakdown of wrestling for the week. Monday night, I watched 3/4 of it, fell asleep. Tuesday, I watched all NXT. Wednesday, I watched 3/4 of AEW. I didn't watch Impact. That pay-per-view, by the way, is tonight.
Very interesting.
We'll touch on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, there's some good fucking matches going to be on there.
Friday night, I didn't watch any of SmackDown. None. Not a zip. But I watched the top 10 moments, and it actually took place. The top 10 things happened between two matches. So that means it wasn't that great.
There wasn't a lot. I know you said you want to start with WWE. Might as well go in order. There wasn't anything that really stood out on any brand, but there was one particular brand, and we will get to it, that it upset me. It made me angry because it was so bad. But some things from Raw that okay, here we go. I thought Randy Orton versus Matt Riddle was very good. Those guys told a story. It was a quick story. I mean, it wasn't a long match, but you've got the experience of Randy Orton. You've got Matt Riddle looking for a quick win. Jumped on his back and applied the sleeper hold 3 or 4 times, and Randy's reversing. He's falling back. He's driving him into the corner. He's flipping him over his shoulder. And in the end, it's a roll-up, just an old-fashioned roll-up where Orton went for the RKO and Riddle rolled him up. And I think that was the right thing to do. I'm happy to see Orton put somebody else over. You can't bury that guy. He's a superstar. Good, solid match. Another point I want to make about that, I don't know why Lana is still employed. I think I say this every week. She cries in every match. I want to like Mandy. I don't think Dana is an impact player. I'll just put it that way. I'm not sure she's done much of anything to warrant having a job either. I don't get why they came out and helped the other team beat the champions. And is Nia Jax that stupid that she's going to fall for that shit and walk away from a match? Come on. It's just ridiculous booking. And then Asuka and Charlotte, I can watch that match 20 times. They have great chemistry together. This was no exception. I will say, just let Asuka be herself, and she's entertaining. You guys remember there was a point where they tried to, spoon feed us her promos and tell her exactly what to say, and wrestling fans can be goddamn assholes, but they're opinionated, and they're going to say what's on their mind. So they were, saying, what? And whatever else. It's not her first language. There were times maybe she got a little lost or she was hard to understand. When you let her say what she wants to say and then just fly off the handle, and it's entertaining. You don't know what the hell she's saying, but who cares? Iron Sheik would say it's 2 or 3 things in English and then go off in, I guess, Farsi and say whatever the hell he said and then spit and leave. Just let her be herself. And when she called Charlotte a bitch, that got a genuine reaction. I thought that was funny.
One note on Raw real quick, John and Chad. Did you guys hear that they kind of had another COVID outbreak and thus Raw was kind of on the seat of its pants as it was going because there was supposed to be more things. They didn't say what more storylines coming out of this Raw, but they couldn't. That's why you had Randy Orton on there 3 times, and you had Riddle on there a couple times. Everybody that was healthy made several appearances on Raw this week because they didn't have people to put in place. Because there was
no idea.
Yeah, there was another COVID break. I'm sure you're excited, John, that he must be out of college again because Humberto Carrillo is back.
Oh, nice. I can't wait to see him.
Yeah. I did like the Asuka and Charlotte stuff. This also caused some controversy on the interweb this week because Charlotte has now been fined and suspended indefinitely because apparently whatever, I don't care, but we always go there. She's going to have one more surgery, something with her teeth or something, whatever. Cool. I don't give a shit.
So why is she fined and suspended for that?
Well, because she beat up all the referees.
Oh, I see. So you're saying that it's the work part of it, but in reality, she's having another surgery. I'll tell you, my wife sat down and said, "Who is that?" And Sylvan threw his arms in the air, "Mom, you don't know who that is?" She's like, "No, I have no idea who that is." And I said, well, I quoted Chad. I said, well, she got some work done because she had her dad's nose. She goes, "Is that Charlotte Flair?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "She's unrecognizable." Guys, she's going to Michael Jackson herself here soon. I'll always go back to when she was ringside for her dad's match in 2003 against Triple H, where everybody came out and Triple H gave him the belt and everybody clapped for him because they thought he was going to retire. Little did we know he still had 15 years left in him. She was at ringside. I thought she was pretty. I thought she looked great then. That stuff's bad for you. Whatever she wants to do, it's her body, but I don't think she needs to do it.
I agree. Chad, you're being so quiet.
I agree with John when, you've seen her there and she was at ringside and for that match and, got teary-eyed. That was a legitimate fucking tearjerker of a moment. She had, short hair, everything, and then she's getting these enhancements and things everywhere.
That was Chad being PC, by the way.
To each is his own on that. But what I found in, the teeth thing is because, what was it, last year she got some teeth knocked out or chipped or something. So that's not that big of a deal. But what I found funny is when this shit come out, Dave Meltzer put out a thing this week, and he could have put it better, but okay, big deal. It wasn't PC. That women in WWE are made to be self-conscious about their bodies. And Charlotte shot back, oh, here we fucking go again. Dave's opening his mouth about women's bodies and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, he knows everything because he's in the business. And she tells Dave to fuck off, but yet nose, boobs, ass, face. She's done all this shit. Again, you want to do it. But when somebody points it out, if you're not doing it for health reasons, you're doing it because in one way, shape, or form, you're self-conscious about your body. That's just the way it is. You can't have it both fucking ways, even if you are a Flair.
Go ahead. Nia Jax, you know, she's a bigger lady. I like her a lot. I know some people say she's stiff and she hurts people, but I think she's terrific. I think Tamina is not terrific. My point is, you have Otis coming out, and it's a joke, and he rubs his belly and shakes his ass and whatever else. Would you ever see Tamina or Nia? They're covered head to toe, you guys. Would you ever see them showing their midriff? No, there's a reason for that. And they're dressed in black, which kind of hides their size a little bit. That's all to Chad's point. They absolutely hold the women to a different standard than they hold the guys.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Moving along after that, Mason T-Bar. Are they going to be part of the Hurt Business? And they finally lost their match. So now we know it's Dijakovic and the other guy. But again,
What?
No reference made that, oh my God, we remember him from NXT. No. Dijakovic looks more like Gronk these days. I was looking at him like, he looks like a grown-up Gronk. I don't know.
What a dud that storyline was with Mustafa Ali. That whole invasion thing. What a dud that was.
Yeah. Anything else on... Oh, John, I'm sorry. We can't go see Bad Bunny. Not even in Brooklyn. It's sold out.
We were going to go get roast beef sandwiches at Rollin' Roaster or pizza at DeFara's and then go see him wherever the hell he's goddamn playing, but never mind now.
I don't want to go to Brooklyn for anything but Bad Bunny.
Yeah, exactly.
Chad, can we somehow get tickets from your prince that has billions and trillions of dollars?
You know, I'll fucking get $1,000 bills and roll them up and smoke them first before I'll fucking spend any amount of money on that shit. You want to see a Bad Bunny, look up, you know, fucking
Jessica
Devil.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Get it?
Damn. Yeah.
She was hot.
Let's do SmackDown before we take a break. I saw three things. Roman challenged Daniel next week to win or go home. Cesaro did a one-handed suplex. And the Mysterios beat Otis and Gable. Oh, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Oh, no. Cruz fought again. But Yabba Dabba Doo came in and gave the Nigerian thumb.
The Nigerian thumb? What is that?
The Nigerian nail.
So, Gordy's Asian Spike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was SmackDown for me. I watched that literally 3 seconds before I hit the record button.
Cesaro's amazing, and I think he's getting a justly deserved push. Terrific athlete.
Cesaro's great, and I just got to say this. This is why Cesaro's push it's not being taken seriously, because he's been beat and been made to look like a joke. And now all of a sudden he develops a conscience and he's going against Roman Reigns and we're supposed to invest in it. Wins and losses matter. I just can't. I would love to see a fucking upset, but I can't get into it because I know it's not going to fucking happen. It's not on the level of no fucking way that it was when Roman was going against Uso. But it just, I'm looking way past Cesaro. Who are they going to bring up? Now, if they had a good booker like I am, I have somebody for the motherfucker when we get to that.
I agree with both of you. I have always been on the Cesaro fan bandwagon, whatever. I thought some of his good to great work was when he was with Sheamus. I love the Bar. I love those guys together.
Awesome. Yeah.
Him now getting his single stroke right now, cool. But like Chad just said, is this going to be WrestleMania Backlash, which I hate the name. Why do we have to have WrestleMania Backlash? Why can't it just be Backlash like it's been for the last 15 years? Whatever, it's WrestleMania Backlash now. Does he get the shot there, or are we still building him up to get whatever is in June, which who the hell knows as of right now? No. Are they going to, if they drag this on till SummerSlam? Maybe. But WWE doesn't drag, and I'm not saying drag isn't a bad thing. They don't drag things on like that. They like to repeat 6 times before you get the final answer.
If that were a SummerSlam match, and I love Cesaro, I don't want to contradict myself. I will stand by that. I think he's very talented. He's a terrific athlete. But Chad makes a great point. He's kind of been, a funny guy. Even with the Bar, they were kind of funny, and it's hard to take him seriously. If that's a SummerSlam match, this might make people mad, but I would put that on the level of a Diesel versus King Mabel SummerSlam match. That would have been better at some lesser pay-per-view. As good as he is, you wouldn't put, and I love Tito Santana. I always go back to this because he's a great example. You wouldn't put Tito Santana in a SummerSlam main event. He'll give you a terrific 2-3 number 4 match. To me, that's what Cesaro is. I'm glad he's getting this push, but I don't think he beats Roman Reigns at the next pay-per-view, the one after that, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, or next year.
They just don't develop their characters the way they should be. If you want to get people's interest and really get them, holy shit, this could happen. Even though he's been the dominant champion, this could happen. You have to build it up. And I'm going to go to Ring of Honor for this type of scenario. Flip Gordon has been made to be, over the last 2 years, a real son of a bitch. I mean, just a dirty bastard. Whatever he has to do to win, he gets kicked out of the division. He beats his own fucking friends up. He quit social media as part of the whole ploy. They're building him up to challenge for the world title. I personally, the thing that I have with him aside, I think he's gonna get the title. It's that interesting of a match. Roman Reigns turning bad all of a sudden. Big fucking deal. The only reason that it was fun for me was Paul Heyman coming out with him, because that pissed Sue off to no fucking end. She seen him come out with Roman Reigns and told me to get the fuck out of the room, and she didn't want to hear it. That was the best part of Roman Reigns turning bad. They should have done it years ago.
I agreed. All right, well, that's WWE for us. Nothing else you guys want to throw in there? Because
no, that's a wrap on WWE.
All right, we're going to tell you about Collar and Elbow, but after that, we'll come back with NXT and AEW. Both are great. John, you have a normal Collar and Elbow shirt on? We'll get there. John, give me a little smirk.
Yeah, that makes me look like Dwayne Johnson.
I have my wrestling one underneath my hoodie. By the way, Kelly, did I tell you guys Kelly got me this new hoodie? It looks like a Tigers jersey. She went with number 77 the year I was born and put my name on the back. Maybe I said this last week. It's just really freaking comfortable. It really is that nylon rayon thing.
Yeah.
Apparently,
that's what I'm saying, man. She's the best. Not to go off about your wife, but she's awesome. Go ahead. Sorry.
Apparently, she ordered this 2 months ago, and it finally came in because, I don't know, they had to kill the Krylon to get the fabric, or I don't know what even Krylon is. I'm done. But Collar and Elbow has great hats, hoodies, tees, eye masks, vests, patches, shorts, pantaloons, stickers, anything you need. Collar and Elbow has it, and it's freaking comfortable.
It absolutely is. My son had a baseball game in the rain yesterday, and it was dreary, but I had my comfy, cozy Collar and Elbow hoodie last night to keep me warm.
Did he win?
They got destroyed. They're a young team. There's one kid on that team who's huge. He hit a home run. It was a no-doubter. Crushed it to right center field. Kid on his team. That was the only bright spot. Otherwise, they got smoked.
So did your team win?
They play T-ball, so we don't keep score. I will say this.
All right, so stop lying. You keep score.
I do. I can tell this story after we come back, since we teased Al Snow.
All right. Chad,
it'll give the people something to anticipate after the break.
Chad, what's our promo code?
Can Crushers, all one word, capital C and Can, capital C and Crushers.
And you save 10%. Here comes Al Snow, and we'll be back to hear the rest of this baseball story.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
This is the one and only Trophy Boy, Tyler Klein, the fashion designer to all of the wrestling royalty in the wrestling world. Half of the runway with Calvin Couture. Make sure you tune in to the Can Crushers podcast. 1, to listen to me. 2, go back, listen to Calvin. And 3, I guess, listen to the host. I mean, we're going to see. He's got a lot of work to do with the runway, so we'll see. But tune in. You won't regret it.
And welcome back, Can Crushers listeners. It is I, the English professor, joined by Chad the Glorious Guru and our fearless leader, our host, Mark the Mark Martinez. We covered Raw and SmackDown in the first segment. And before we heard from Al Snow, I started to tell you a little bit about the baseball weekend. And I guess we'll tie in IWC to this, because you sent me a text, Mark, saying, don't forget IWC's at 1 today. And I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to watch it. I got confused. I had an afternoon game. My kids had an afternoon game. I thought my son's game was before mine, but it was after. So I thought, okay, great. We'll watch an hour of this maybe. About 5 to 1, I ran upstairs. I showered, I changed. I got my uniform, came back downstairs. I said, all right, what did I miss? And it was like 1:30, and someone's like, absolutely nothing. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? It's supposed to start at 1. We didn't see any of it.
None.
Finally, none. I said, all right, well, we have to go. And it's not far away, but we had to go. So like at 1:45, I said, let me just check my phone. So I went to the IWC website, and I saw there was an 8-man match going on. But did they start late? Did they have like a teaser match that started? No.
No, everything started like right on time. I think they were worried that the rain was going to set in fast, so they started right at 1. Dave Kitch was in the ring, boom, ready to go, and they started because you guys can watch it. I know Jeremy's going to have it up either by today, which is Sunday, or Monday, that it will be available on the network for sure. He's guaranteed me. At 3:45, like, it started raining. Boom, match over. See you later. Ring was down because it started raining by the time I got out. I mean, like, legit hardcore raining by the time I got out of the parking lot. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll catch the replay, but I'm not sure what was going on. I'm not sure if it was on some kind of delay or there was some issue with the signal or what, but yeah. At 1:30, there was still no wrestling on our computer. But anyway, he coached third base for my T-ball team, and there was first and second, which we don't keep score, we don't keep outs. They're little kids. They're 3, 4, 5 years old. Maybe there's a 6-year-old who's a superstar. But one of my kids hit it off the tee right down the third base line, and I watched my son, who was coaching third base, coach the other team's third baseman on picking it up. Now, all they're taught is throw to first. He told that kid to touch third base first to get the force out and then throw to first. And the kid did it. And I asked my son, I'm like, I saw you tell the other team's third baseman to touch third base. You know I keep track of these outs. Why would you tell him? Is he dead? I didn't tell him. Yeah, don't lie to me. I'm like, you should have tripped him. You should have pushed him. He could have checked him. No, he tells him, touch third base and then throw. What a traitor.
Your son's a better person than you are. Tenfold, because he's only trying to coach something that you're not doing, apparently, then.
Not to the other team, no. I'm teaching my kids about double plays. I'm not going to teach the other team about double plays.
Right.
Well, 2 things with John here.
Oh, no.
A, I've tried to give you some help before with your matches with your son, maybe throw a fireball, some powder in the eyes. I got some baseball help, too. I can get you some cork bats. We can get some gloves with some sandpaper in it, maybe, some kind of gel in there to help with pitching. But the more important thing I have to bring up to Can Crusher Nation is John's crimes against humanity. Okay. First, it's grinding coffee while we're on air. Then it's getting served a 7-course meal with dessert and choice of wine. Then it's eating potato chips. Then it's standing up in front of his desk with his crotch, right there in the center of the camera. In today's latest one, he gets up and he's doing the, weatherman thing of sitting there, got the rock shirt on, everything like that, and he's in his fucking boxers.
So Mark says to me this morning, because, he called in, and he's like, wow, look at you. You're dressed and ready and showered. I got up early this morning. What you can see is dressed. What you can't is not. Hey, it's my house. And I knew that. I said, as soon as we went to break, I said, all right, I got up early, like at 6 and started laundry. I said, let me go switch out the laundry. I'll be right back. I said to myself, guaranteed Chad's going to say something when we come back from this, because he saw, my ass or my junk or something when I stood up.
Baseball real quick. In general, to get away from junk and stuff. 3 teams on this podcast, 3 different teams. Only one sitting at 500. The Mets are 8-8. The Tigers shouldn't be playing baseball at 7-14. And the Yankees 9-11. Wow.
That's after winning 3 in a row.
Yeah. We got some rough teams. We have some rough teams.
I don't get to brag on the Mets often, but Jacob deGrom, holy shit. Last 3 starts, 15 strikeouts. His fucking batting average is like .545 or something like that.
For a pitcher.
For a pitcher, holy shit. I mean, I know it's not going to last. They're going to suck. If they win 60 fucking games this year, I'd be surprised.
If the Tigers play 60 games this year, I'm going to be surprised.
Oh, but hey, that's my bright spot of the fucking Mets.
So he's awesome. He's better than Clayton Kershaw, in my opinion. I think he's the best pitcher in the game.
Yeah. I still say him and Max Scherzer. Scherzer is still...
Yeah, he's awesome, too.
All right, let's stay with bright spots. As bright as we can be. Let's start with NXT.
All right.
I do have to say one thing. If Kyle O'Reilly is trying to be Orange Cassidy, he's not there. Kyle O'Reilly coming out in all denim and everything. I don't know. But
he looks like a cross between Orange Cassidy and fucking Sami Zayn's, Fidel Castro fucking look.
He does. I don't like this little spin they gave to Kyle. I really don't. I don't know. I really don't know how do we want to do NXT? Do you just want to run with it, or we just want to talk about what we really want to talk about?
Yeah, skip.
Yeah, you just want to bring up certain points?
Yeah.
Again, that's kind of, yeah. Whoever wants to go first. Go ahead, Mark. You started.
I'm not going to like Frankie Monet. I don't know. I love Taya Valkyrie. I don't like this character that they gave her. I don't. That's my number one beef. I'm like, I'm sure John was excited for Breezango. That was a note. I'm not really excited about Sarai either. Sarai.
Yeah.
I like Zoe Stark. I do. Kushida and Orkin, this could have been a great match, but I understand what they did afterwards. Everybody comes out, and then it's a craziness. Cool. And I didn't mind the main event of Kyle and Grimes until Cross came out, and yeah. That's NXT for me. Like, there's nothing for me to dig my teeth into this week.
Who wants to go next?
This was a maintenance show to me. That's what this show felt like. It just felt like we don't know what the fuck we're going to do, so we'll throw some semi-interesting things together and see what happens. It's like throwing shit up against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Essentially.
LA Knight versus Dexter Lumis to kind of kick things off. We don't know what happened when Dexter Lumis carried Indy Hartwell away a week or two ago, whenever it was. I like what they're doing. LA Knight's a terrific wrestler and talker. I like the Dexter Lumis character. I'm okay with the shenanigans of her.
I love that.
Tongues hanging out, and she's looking at him, and I think it's hilarious. I think it's a lot of fun. I've said Indy Hartwell needs some work, and she does. But Theory, LeRae, and Gargano, they're all so good that if you give me a little bit of silliness, I'm okay with it. Yeah, Mark, I had exactly the same note about Sarai and Zoe Stark. I expected to be wowed. I got what I expected from Zoe Stark. She's always consistent. Sarai wasn't bad, but it's like, this is the biggest signing of all time. She's the greatest thing that's ever happened. I was like, it was okay. It was fine. I expected to be blown away. And I wasn't. I just thought, this is a fine middle-of-the-card match. That's all I got out of that. Highlight for me for this card was Kushida once again. That guy's awesome. He can do anything. These guys at least told me a story where Kushida was trying to take him down. Oney Lorcan was trying to stay on his feet. Kind of two different styles. Lorcan wanted to strike. Ultimately, Kushida wins that battle by getting him to the mat and applying a submission. Grimes can work. Grimes is entertaining, and he can work, and it was a fine match against Kyle O'Reilly. He had his moments. He hit a German suplex. He hit a crossface. Ultimately, we are just told that Kyle O'Reilly is far superior. Again, the joke here is that he got outbid by the $1 Million Man. I want to ask you guys, does his son come back, maybe?
DiBiase Jr.?
Yeah, they keep talking about the $1 Million Man outbidding him and everything.
I I don't know. The one son is in jail or going to jail or something like that. That's Brett, right?
Yeah, it's Brett.
But Ted Jr., wasn't he... Is he involved? Was he... Maybe not...
He wasn't.
Okay.
With this, yeah. With their legal problems.
Right. I say no, John. I think you might see the $1 Million Man pop up or something for a run-in, maybe at a pay-per-view or something to screw him over. But I don't think you're going to see Ted Jr.
No.
I think he's washed away from wrestling. Done. See you later.
Yeah, he's kind of... I got that feeling from him and watching that Price of Fame and then seeing how he's just kind of stayed away from it. Like, he's just not... It's not his thing. He went into it, he tried it, it's just not his thing. Thinking of him, ironically, you were talking about the female match, Zariah, how they promoted her, reminded me of years ago when the $1 Million Man was talking on WWE television, bringing in this guy and holy shit and everything. He's, such a big deal and they made such a production, and out comes his son. Impressive athlete, good looking kid. But I kind of fucking, they promoted it like it was a second coming, a cross between Batista and the fucking Undertaker, and it's an average Joe.
He had
nothing against him.
He had a great look. Like, I was a fan, but he didn't have that spark in him.
Yeah.
Yep. You can go down the list. I felt the same way. I wasn't watching a lot, but I'll never forget Heyman. You get Curtis from his father. I don't know why I'm Vince McMahon all of a sudden. And you combine his grandfather's nickname, and you get Curtis Axel. And he had an awesome look at it, and he was an imposing figure. It didn't take long until that guy was a clown.
I still think he's one of my favorites that didn't become. I think bad booking for him. I really do. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you see him pop up maybe in an NWA role right now. Like, I don't know. Like, I really think he could do something. Maybe it's just the love of Kurt Hennig that I have, that I want him to be good. I just think he was put in all the wrong roles.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really do.
One other thing about NXT, I have to give a shout out to Dakota Kai's promo and Mercedes' response. That was awesome. Mercedes wants a title match, and Dakota Kai said something like, "I want to study wizardry and sorcery at Hogwarts, but we can't all get what we want." I thought that was hilarious. And then Mercedes' response, you let her do the talking for you. You can't talk for yourself. That was it was a very good heel promo that creates friction between Dakota and Raquel and sells the match for Raquel and Mercedes. That was good stuff all around. But to Chad's point, it was all maintenance. Putting pieces in place. And maybe, we get a bang-up show coming up here soon because all these pieces are in place. But there wasn't a shining moment on this card at all. But if you think that was bad...
Shout out to Xia Li for giving the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast a follow, though.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Xia Li.
So, pretty pumped up about that. We have some work, and we got some working people down in Orlando for us trying to spread the good word. We'll leave it at that. We'll keep him in the corner so he doesn't get exposed, but he's doing a lot of work for us down in Orlando in that area. So, thank you. Thank you. You know who you are. A new member, possibly of the family of Can Crushers. We'll just leave it at that. You guys might know him.
Okay.
Maybe.
It isn't that shitty referee from the NWA that's always trying to get us to do stuff, is it?
Who?
That referee that's always wanting you to put him on the air and promote his products. his shirts that he gets printed on the, fucking corner of Main Street?
No.
Oh.
No. The shitty, you mean OVW, Daniel Spencer? Not him.
Oh.
No, this is actually, he's not in the business. He's just doing some work for us. But, you're right, John. If you want to talk about shitty things, I want you to lead AEW. Since you're so passionate about it this week as I spit all over our equipment, I want you to lead the way on what turned out to be an amazing AEW show.
So we kicked things off with Ricky Starks versus Adam Page. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great. I was disappointed in Starks because I think he's awesome. And there was some no selling here on his part because he had to get ready to take the next bump, which, guys, I try to be fair. So I go back and I think, boy, what did I grow up loving? And something similar to this happened. So you have Ultimate Warrior throwing 3 clotheslines at Rick Rude. So why would one knock him down but 3 don't? Why does he jump back up and go back down? But even in that moment, the bump and the jump right back up, Rude was selling us something. Look at the facial expressions, the body language, whatever, okay? There were moments here where we didn't get that. And Starks just had to be ready to take the next thing from Hangman, and that was disappointing. After the match, Hook is not believable to me. I'm sorry. Mark, he reminds me of that guy, that young kid from Big Time Wrestling. I don't know why they kept bringing him back. They'll pair him up with Jake Roberts. They'll pair him up with Diesel, and I just don't get it.
That guy that was in MMA?
Yes, and he treats the fans like shit. We're standing there in line. Not that Hook does that. I don't know the first thing about the guy, but just the way he moved in the ring reminded me of this guy from Big Time Wrestling. He's standing in line, or he's standing at his desk, and there are kids in line, and he's like talking to whoever will listen. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I need to make more money. Next, who wants a picture already? I'm like, holy cow, why would anybody tolerate this asshole? I hate that guy. I hope he got fired. He was a dick to all the little kids. Anyway, Hook's stomps reminded me of that guy with the flailing arms. I dislike this match.
Hangman Page 12-0 in 2021. Why the fuck is he not? Why is the title not on him? I don't give a shit about Kenny fucking Omega. Why is Page not? He's not even mentioned in the title hunt.
No.
Why?
Well, we're gonna wait until after tonight.
I have a pretty good idea what's going to happen in tonight's main event with Rich Swann and Omega. I would pay the $40 to see 1 minute of Adam Page coming down and fucking destroying Omega. I mean, just laying him the fuck out. I would pay money to see that.
I saw Starks take some brutal bumps in this match. He landed directly on his neck, and that's where
suplex.
Yeah, the back suplex, and that's kind of where John's talking about no selling. Like, his neck was in his ass, and then he instantly popped back up. And I'm like, dude, you almost snapped your neck, and you're not going to sell that. And then the clothesline off the top rope almost breaks him in half again that he didn't, land right. And guys, I know we're criticizing this a little bit harder than we've criticized things in the near past or whatever. This was rough, though. I don't want anybody to get hurt, but these were so blatant that it was just... We saw this, John, in IWC one time, and I don't remember who it was. Get a punch. Oh, let me just walk back to the corner.
And that was a young guy, though. That was one of his first matches. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and then it was even prior to Plummer buying it yet. It was that far away. And then, I drop kick. I'm going to stand right back up and stand in the ring. That's what Starks looked like it was one of his first matches in this. And it was rough. It was not one of my favorite. This whole card sucked.
This goes back to, we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago about specifically what started it was those two little fucking vanilla midgets that think they're 8 foot tall and 500 fucking pounds, but they want to get so much in that they don't sell 3/4 of it the way they should. Take some shit out, sell some stuff. That Ricky Starks landing on his fucking neck the way he did from that back suplex, that looked worse than when Brock Lesnar fucked up that shooting star press on Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
That looked worse than that. And Lesnar damn near snapped his neck. I mean, he was fucked up for a while after that with a stinger.
Oh, that's no. Sorry.
You gotta sell some of this stuff. If it means eliminating a third of the moves in there, then do it. I don't care to see 5,000 moves and then, he hits him with one fucking move and
done.
He's all of a sudden dead and dismembered in the ring and he has to cover 15 body parts. Shit.
That'd be hell. Next up, we have Pentagon against Trent.
Yep. Penta, El Cielo, Mieda, Esteban Loaiza.
Great picture
Trent.
for the Pittsburgh Pirates in there.
Yeah.
Nice!
Yeah. Oh, God.
Esteban Loaiza. One of my good friends, Josh Burrs, and I went to a Pirates game. He got the win. All right, we were both in St. Mary's at the time. By the time we made it back to Katanning, he picked up, he picked up the win against the Reds, I believe. By the time we got back to Katanning, he was already in Cincinnati. They shipped him out. He beat the team that he was traded to, and this is where the Pirates' downfall started. Oh, cool, you gave us a win and a crucial division win? We're going to send you away to that same team you just beat, so tomorrow you could probably pitch again and kick our ass. Esteban Loaiza.
Who wore the crocodile teeth around his neck? He was a pitcher for the Mets, and he got traded to the Phillies in the middle of a 4-game series. He was a closer through...
Turk Wendell.
Yes, came out to close against a team that just traded him and gave up a walk-off home run. Might have been at Shea, I believe. I don't think it was Citizens Bank or whatever. Yeah, I think it was Shea. But yeah, he was a Met on Game 2, and for Game 3 he was a Philly.
Yeah.
And gave up the walk-off home run to his old team. Anyway, where were we?
Wait, Chad,
you guys both are wrong on this. You need to get your baseball history straight. This was Serrano was the one. The motherfucker from Major League. He was the one that was wearing the shit around his neck. Come on.
He was too. Buddha. He crushed the fastball. Curveball cannot. Okay, back to Trent against Pentel Loaiza.
This was the worst match of the year. I've tried to, because we saw them on the south side of Pittsburgh, and I've tried to avoid saying this. I hate the Lucha Brothers. I absolutely despise them. We get it, guys. 3 fingers, upside down, whatever the shit that's supposed to mean. You do it once. That's your thing. I don't need it 3 or 4 times in the guy's face every match. Thanks, Mark. There you go. 3 fingers in my face. I love it. Thanks, Chad. You too, buddy. This was just bullshit, no selling, walk to your next spot after just taking a huge bump. Bullshit. That's all this was. This was the worst. I hated it. I can't say enough how much I hated this match. I'm disappointed in Trent. Both of them, though. Absolutely no selling anything. Get up, walk to your next spot like a couple of fucking jabronis in their first day on the job. I hate these guys.
We need the Sheik to come in and stretch them fuckers.
Yep.
The Pinnacle interview.
Good stuff from Wardlow. You were delivered a killer promo till my name came out of your mouth, and then you started stumbling and stuttering. That was fantastic.
Chad?
It was great. MJF is a bastard.
Yeah.
He's just a bastard, and he's the best at it right now. The Wardlow thing, I was fucking laughing. It was like, he was nice, calm, and he's like, and then my name had to cross your lips. Oh, shit. So, what is that setting up? Wardlow fucking smacking Jericho around.
On the way home from what seemed to be a 9-hour ride yesterday from... First off, let me go here, because I saved this story for this part anyway, because I was going to talk about Wardlow. I went down to Pittsburgh my normal way, made it to outside of California, Pittsburgh, that area, in about 2 hours, 45 minutes, somewhere in between there. A normal ride for me to Pittsburgh. I don't understand why Google Maps sucks the biggest balls out there. It sends you one way, and it happens every effing time.
It does.
On the way home, I'm now going this other way, and I don't know where I am. I've never been down
You're
there.
headed towards Philadelphia.
Yeah. And then I'm like, all right, this thing says I'm going to be home by 7 o'clock, whatever. I'll just keep going. I'm cruising. Indiana, Blairsville, Homer City, Punxsutawney. I'm like, why the hell did it take me? It was a straight shot the way that I went. As you guys know, I'm stupid. Could I have put 2 and 2 together to go back the same way? I don't know the way I went. So I just follow the goddamn Google Maps, and it sends me literally an extra hour out of my way to get home. And I'm livid. So I now see
that you're driving.
Well,
and listening to a computer.
Right. Yeah. I lose, Chad. I understand.
It could be worse. You could be driving a fucking Tesla that's a death trap.
Oh. So I go back and I listen to AEW exclusives. I find the one with Britt, Tony Schiavone, and Aubrey Edwards. By the way, if you have not listened to these and you're IWC fans, the Britt one's amazing. And we love Britt.
Happy birthday.
Happy belated birthday, Britt. Into the 3-0 club. I wish I was still there. But the Wardlow one is awesome too. So it's on Spotify, AEW exclusive. It's more of a behind the scenes podcast. You get to learn a little bit more about their life, kind of like a Can Crusher Spotlight. So yeah, AEW, we had it first, stealing our shit yet again. It was great. All right, Tai Conte against Hikaru Shida. I like this match.
I loved it. I thought the first 5 seconds were better than anything else we saw up to that point. There was good psychology. I thought the promos leading into the match were better than anything we saw. I loved Shida saying, you are very pretty, you are very nice, you're a good wrestler, and maybe one day you'll be champion, but not today. But when I say the first 5 seconds, they go to shake hands. They both shake their head no. Then they bow. Was it corny? Yeah. But at least they're doing something. At least they're telling us something. But then you get the exact opposite. Like they throw you that curve. They bow to each other, but then you have Shida, who's, I use this term, super squeaky clean babyface. She goes for a cheap shot on the ropes, but misses. They're good friends, but they're hitting vicious strikes. We're told about Conti's judo background. She did a nice job blocking takedowns and then hitting some vicious-looking takedowns of her own. And then Shida's fireman's carry flipped her over across her knee into that backbreaker. Good work by both ladies.
I love this match. I know we're 4.5 months into the year. To be honest with you, I got to put this as match of the year so far for me. When I say this, I joke around a bit about the looks of some of the female wrestlers and stuff like that. These two are absolutely gorgeous. But they can wrestle. This isn't a diva era match where you have 2 beautiful women in the ring that, couldn't wrestle their way out of a fucking wet paper bag. these two are gorgeous and they can wrestle. This match, to me, did more to further women's wrestling in AEW than the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa match.
Wow.
And I'll say that because Britt and Thunder Rosa had a great match, but it was a brawling match. Anybody, and I'm not saying these two are not great wrestlers when this comes out, anybody can brawl. Anybody can, throw hands and fucking hit with objects and stuff like that. But these two looked fucking great. The technical wise, that fucking
I have
flip,
two of them. Yeah,
flip that she
the senton to Sheeta on the top rope.
That was fucking brutal looking.
And then the next thing she just tossed Sheeta on the top rope. Yeah, Ty Conte is going to be a player for a long time, and I love this. I really did.
With her going in that direction, with Britt going the direction she's going in, I think eventually you see a Conte-Baker program, and I think it's going to be gangbusters.
Yeah, I agree. And Baker comes out at the end, and statistically, she is now the number one contender for Sheeta.
Well, yeah, number one lost, so now you go to the next one. I love it because she didn't earn it. She didn't beat anybody. She just watched another match. I was like, well, mathematically, I'm next. I love it.
At that awesome fucking record, don't call it a win streak at 2-0.
Right?
I mean, I can win 2 fucking games in MLB baseball, and I wouldn't celebrate that, but Britt fucking does.
I celebrate one victory, and it's usually not against Soup. Miro promo warning everybody. Okay. Nothing. Like, Miro has lost it for me.
Unfortunately, a little bit. He's still, a presence. He's still good on the mic, good in the ring. But I don't think anything special came out of this.
No.
Get him totally away from those idiots that he's with and have him destroy a baby face. Doesn't have, just somebody that everybody likes. Have him just absolutely fucking destroy him, bloody him, leave him in ring.
Darby would be the person for this.
Yeah.
Not have it be a title match or anything like that. Just have him come out.
Have him fucking just absolutely destroy him.
And Darby would be all for it because he likes the whole blood and guts thing. Oh, by the way, it's blood and guts. Tony talks to the Inner Circle. It's a huge long promo to tell us on May 5th that we're getting, is it May 5th? Maybe the wrong day. One of those days. The whole show is going to be the Blood and Guts match, which it's essentially a War Games match. But we'll find out more about it this week in the next promo. It was long for me.
It was. Jericho's great, but he tried a little too hard to be funny. Santana's right, though. When you pull some of the things that Pinnacle has pulled, back home, Santana and I call those bitch moves.
Yeah. And this is where I fell asleep. I saw the beginning of Billy Gunn against QT Marshall, so John's got notes. He'll run with AEW the rest of the way.
This was a good match. Billy Gunn has not missed a beat. I think he's still in awesome shape. He's still a good worker. We get a brawl outside the ring that I thought was great. His sons throw great punches. Billy Gunn's sons jump the railing. And at the end, Dustin comes running in with a wooden chair and slams it over Camarado. And he no-sells it. And it reminded me, Ming did the same thing in WCW. I couldn't find it. I don't know if you guys remember. Was it Dusty Rhodes? Did they just repackage this? Did they just rehash Dusty? I think Dusty.
I think so.
Or Hacksaw, one of those guys, but it might have been Dusty. Slammed the chair over Ming's head and it exploded and Ming just stood there and then screamed. And he had the same kind of wild hair and everything. I thought it was fine. Billy Gunn still looks like he's carved out of stone. He's in incredible shape.
I'll take you even further back than Ming. Remember when Dusty fucking co-cocked Bubba Rogers when he was with Cornette and the Midnight Express with the fucking chair and didn't even knock the hat off of Bubba Rogers?
Yeah.
He just fucking stood there. And then he gets pissed that he has to fucking adjust his hat. And then Magnum comes in with fucking steel chairs and that. That clip is all over YouTube. That's even further back with the whole chair destroying shit.
I'll bring you to one not as far back. And John's going to correct me on the letters. It's ICW off of IWTV, where Ming was in a death match with light bulbs and chains and a tractor trailer and wild hair, and he no-sold that whole match too until the end, took a punch and then lost, or the time limit draw or something like that. Yeah, it's on there where they were fighting in the pawn shop.
Was it ICW Angelo Poffos out of where the hell was it? In any event.
No, this is a new one, John.
Okay,
hardcore wrestling that you would love.
Affiliated.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Where the hell were we?
QT and Billy.
Yeah. Okay, so next we get Christian Cage against Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs. Christian Cage is not related to Brian Cage, is he?
No.
No, that's just a coincidence. I may have asked that before. This was all right. Some people don't like the slower, methodical, big man style. Jeez, I'd rather that than some of the opening matches we saw. I thought this was fine.
Chad, did you see this?
No.
Yep, you're good. Go ahead. Move along.
Okay. Darby Allin versus Jungle Boy.
This is the main event, right?
Yes, this is the main event. If you guys didn't see this, you need to. Two very small athletes that maybe would not have had a career 30 or 40 years ago. They're outstanding athletes. They really are. I think Jungle Boy, and maybe he's got the acting chops from his old man, who I absolutely loved. But he can tell a story with his face. He can tell a story with his body. This was very good. And you have these two high-flying baby faces actually getting dirty during the course of this match. I would challenge these guys to have a match without a tope suicida. It's in every match. And I think Jungle Boy hit like 3 of them in a row, which I guess that's part of the story too. You're really trying to take the guy out. But just have one match without one and see what happens. Sting even got into it with the huge guy, Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy's got a bright future. He's not by any means the biggest or the strongest. Doesn't have a terrific physique. But the guy can work. He can fly. And again, he can tell a pretty good story in the ring. And I think he's only going to get better.
I ask you guys this question now. What the hell are they doing with Sting? Because he's intermingled with everybody, but he's not doing anything.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole situation. And then what's his... every week I'll ask you this. Jake's guy. Archer comes out. I confuse him with someone else. Who is it? All the time. Tully's guy.
Sean Spears.
They're not the same person, right?
Not at all.
About 200 pounds difference.
Yeah.
Come back out as somebody else. No, they're different people. Yeah, he was involved, and again, Sting's kind of involved with him. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And then Brian Cage has the utmost respect for Sting. Maybe are they stretching him? Are they using him to give the rub to too many people?
Yes.
And it's not doing anything for anybody.
Yeah.
And eventually, I think what they're working towards, honestly, is Sting turning on Darby.
Clearly.
But who's he gonna do it with? I don't think it's anybody that they have right now.
And that's why they can't. Are you saying, all right, well, then I was going to say...
people been released lately.
Well, I was going to bring this up when we talked about the Mickie James thing in the Thursday, but let's just bring it up right now because we have a little bit of time in this segment. We've had those releases that we talked about last week, and we'll talk about the Mickie James thing here in a minute after a break. But my question is off of Chad's differently. So it has no sense whatsoever right now. But I don't care. I'm still going to ask it. Who's the first person that leaves AEW to go back to WWE?
That's a great question.
Because it's going to happen. Somebody's going to get pissed off.
Back to or to go to WWE?
All right, they don't have to go back to. Who's the first person that leaves AEW to go to WWE?
Brian Cage.
You think Brian Cage?
Either Brian Cage or Archer. Because Vince has a hard-on for big guys, and he doesn't really have too many right now.
John?
I think when you really get live crowds again, so it might not be a Raw or a SmackDown, it might be a pay-per-view. I think he had a good run, but I think he's going to realize the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I think eventually you see Jon Moxley come back.
I think at one point I have two. I think at one point, because his ego is his ego, Jericho goes back to get put into the Hall of Fame. Okay? And that might be down the line, after everything's over. I think Rusev goes back at some point. I think he's the one, the grass isn't always greener. I think that was the same thing I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know. At least he's with his wife. I don't know. That just came to mind thinking he could have been doing the same shit that he's doing here.
They just have him clowning there anyway, so what's the difference? Yeah, at least Dean Ambrose Moxley went and did what he wanted to do. He got a little more hardcore. You said it took a little while to see a difference, but now you see a difference. But you're right. Miro is he was clowning there, and now he's a clown here, so what's the difference?
The one thing I don't think it'll be Moxley, because he also is working with
New Japan,
and that other guy that he's doing some independent stuff with. I can't. Bloodsport.
I know what you mean, but I don't know. Yeah,
I can't remember that guy's name. He's doing a lot of stuff and helping push that. That would be the only reason I don't see Moxley going back, because you're in WWE, you're not doing that shit.
Yeah.
Period.
But the other ones, I don't know. Maybe Vince will wake up and say, "You guys can do your Twitch," and then Miro will run right back over. Whatever. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We have Love 'Em While You Got 'Em, and we have some news on Mickie James's release. So I'm sure you guys saw or heard about it. If not, it's kind of garbage.
This is the fashionista of professional wrestling, Calvin Couture. And I'm glad you're listening to me, but I don't really know why you're listening to this podcast, but whatever, they paid me a lot to say this. So enjoy Can Crushers, I guess.
And welcome back, Can Crusher Nation. It is I, the Glorious Guru, with Mark Martinez in our refurbished studio.
Refurbished sounds so bad. Upgraded studio, and we are talking to John, the professor, who over the break we have heard has been signed to a contract by Hanes Underwear and Fruit of the Loom. Wow!
Finally.
Both of them. They're competing brand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've tried to be an actor for years, and finally I get a gig.
Yeah.
Mark, you came up with a better adjective there, upgraded. That was from years of tutoring, where you would give me a paper and I would just say, you know what, you used this word 4 times, and that's okay, it's a first draft. Find me a synonym for that same thing, or find me a better adjective. So now you just naturally, the better adjectives come to you just like that now.
Yeah. And it only took how many years?
30. 30.
But he got it.
30 years, bro.
We always knew you were a little slow.
Slow is the word. or another word for slow. Let's talk about Impact Rebellion real quick. We really don't talk about it, but there's a lot going on this pay-per-view tonight. You can get it on Fight TV, Impact Plus app, whatever. Anywhere you can get pay-per-views, you can get this. Run through some stuff that...
Favorites.
That's our favorites. And it's going to start off with Fire and Flava, which is Tasha Steele and Kiera Hogan. I fell in love with them at WrestleCade, what they did there. I saw Tasha Steele at a Shimmer or a Rise event one time, and I'm like, I got to keep my eye on her, and I did. But what she did at that WrestleCade that we were at, awesome. They're taking on Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. John, you remember Rachel fought Britt at Night of Superstars one time for IWC.
Rachel Ellering making her return because she was handpicked by Jazz, who lost a title versus career match to Purrazzo a couple weeks ago.
Right.
She's the queen of strong smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, I love her. I've gone back. Sometimes I'll just watch her matches on YouTube. I like her a lot. Why are you guys giving me the Lucha Brothers fingers again?
We don't know. I hope Tasha and Kiera hold on to the title. I'm telling you right now, I'm not getting this. I'll watch maybe a replay on highlights or something. I'm not going to get it. You might dabble into it because of the main event, Chad, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it. I've been figuratively burned in the past by TNT Impact, so I'm a little bit gun shy with getting their pay-per-view. But on the off chance of seeing Kenny Omega get his ass beat...
We're not there yet.
Oh.
If you do get it, FaceTime me, and I'll just watch it on my phone. Can we do that? This way you just pay for it, and I'll just watch it on my phone as I'm taking a shit or whatever.
That's a good deal.
I could give you the fucking login information for Fight TV. I think you can run multiple...
I have a login too, but it's not going to happen.
But you'd have to pay for it, dumbass, if you used my information.
Somebody else we have an eye on during this event. TJP against Ace Austin with Madman Fuller in his corner against Josh Alexander, an IWC alum, one of our favorites, a big man that can do so much, going for the X Division title. I really want Alexander to win this. Just because of that.
This is going to be interesting because, as I've heard, this is going back to the way the X Division title was before, where there was an X crisscrossed above the ring. And you had to climb out in some way or another. Which that match really brought into guys like Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels in that. No confirmation yet, but that would be interesting. But yeah, I'd like to see Josh Alexander because he's with not Ethan Page. Yeah,
the North.
Ethan Page leaving Impact Wrestling and that, and Josh deciding to stay. This could be interesting. He could really get a good singles push.
He should.
In Impact.
John, you're a fan of Josh Alexander.
Absolutely, yeah. We've seen him at IWC. He's an awesome wrestler.
Next match, it's kind of two best friends going at it. It's a great storyline. Brian Myers against Matt Cardona. What else are their names? If you don't know their names.
I can't remember Cardona, what he used to be.
Woo, woo, woo. You know it. Zack Ryder.
Oh, yeah. Ugh.
Brian Myers, I forget what his WWE name was.
I thought you were... Match I'm interested in, the Good Brothers against Finjuice. Both been featured in our WWWF league. Finjuice, really good tag team. Seen them in New Japan a lot. Really good tag team. I'm kind of interested how this is going to go. Finjuice actually upset the Good Brothers at the last pay-per-view for the tag titles.
A match John, I'm sure, would have his eyes on. His girl, Deonna Purrazzo. You love her.
I do. I think she's a fantastic wrestler.
taking on Tennille Dashwood. If you guys don't know who that is, that's Emma from the WWE making her return. I've always been a Dashwood fan, even as Emma doing her stupid stuff there. I think she's a great wrestler. I really do. I think she was underutilized in the WWE. So I do think Deonna retains, though. She's just that damn good.
The first time we saw her at IWC, she was introduced, got no reaction. Fans didn't boo, they didn't clap, they didn't cheer. And then she started to, she had a T-shirt on, and she went to take that off and got a couple of catcalls and then stopped and turned towards the crowd and kind of nodded like, oh, I see how it is. And I was like, right there it is. She's got a terrific personality. She's got a sense of humor, and she involved the crowd in just that one thing she did. And then she went on to have a great match and earned everybody's respect. I think she's terrific. I really do. I'm high on her.
You are high on her. And the main event is going to be Rich Swann against Kenny Omega. AEW title on the line, Impact title on the line. Whoever wins would get both of them. Before Chad has his say, John, I know you haven't followed the storyline a ton. Do you actually think this cross-promotion, we've covered a ton of them on this show alone, do we actually think the titles are going to change hands?
No.
Chad?
Absolutely. My heart would love to see, because nobody would see it coming, I would love to see Rich Swann win the fucking title, even if it's just to keep it for a month and then lose it back to that fucking idiot Omega. But this is going to be the start of AEW absorbing Impact Wrestling.
Okay. All right. So that's kind of a little look at what's going to go on tonight. I know we usually don't cover a ton of Impact, but maybe with it being on Thursday, these guys will watch a little bit more. Maybe I'll watch a little bit less. Also, we didn't touch on NWA the last 2 weeks, more so because I didn't. Well, one was Power Surge. It was all like repeats and stuff. This week's I have not watched because of just what's going on. Interviews that come up. We've been doing that. We've been working with the Keith Miller Memorial Invitational. Make sure you guys go back, listen to that, find out how to get tickets. The link is there for you guys to get it. Before we move along, I might as well do this because we haven't done house cleaning in a while. Guys, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, it's all at CanCrusher69. You can send us an email, cancrusher69@gmail.com. In any place that you can find a podcast, iHeart, Spotify, Google, Alexa, Boxcast, Buzzsprout, anywhere that you can find podcasts, we are available. And we want to get ready to do another Ask Can Crushers where we'll power through. This week probably would have been a good one. We'll power through the week in one segment and then do some Ask Can Crushers. So I'm going to let you know, I don't have a date picked out. These guys don't even know I was thinking about this, and I wasn't until about 3 minutes ago. But start sending your questions in for Ask Can Crushers, and within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll sit down. Clearly, we're going to have time because nothing on the horizon looks like it's going to be stellar. So let's get the Ask Can Crushers questions into our email, cancrusher69@gmail.com. We'll do one of those again because we do love them so much. This Friday, we will be back with our fantasy booking the week after WrestleMania. So make sure you're staying tuned to all those podcast sites again and our Facebook to listen to that.
Major announcements and developments have come to light. Major signings, major returns.
Oh, wow. Remember, we already had the show.
Right.
Max
can do it again.
Max just ruined it.
Yeah.
So Max. Mickey's like, I did nothing. All right, John, roll with it, and then we'll give Chad.
This is Love 'Em While We Have 'Em. It is a segment where we appreciate someone in the wrestling business while they are still here with us, rather than posthumously, so that in the off chance they listen to our podcast, they can hear us Love on them. We have brought some soft tosses. I don't know if that's what I'm trying to say, but some easy ones. We've brought some controversial ones. I tend to bring the easy ones, but this week, guys, I'm going to be a little controversial. She is a superstar. She is Tessa Blanchard, and hopefully she's here for a long, long time because she's still very young. But who wants to go first and love Tessa Blanchard while we have her?
I'll go. Always thought it, when first saw her, okay, maybe it's somebody pulling off of their, famous fathers or mothers or whatever name, but she doesn't. The talent in ring, she's that good. The one thing I know that there was some debate about things that she said that were not right, that she's admitted to and everything. But the first big memory I have of her was at WrestleCade when she came out and called out that fucking drunk, the Sandman, who was in the back running his mouth that women shouldn't be main eventing a card. And she didn't give a shit. She was like, come out and say something to me if you want to. I don't care. Cut my mic. I don't care. She stands up. She's a good talent. Now, there was the issue with her in Impact Wrestling and winning the world title. I don't think that was the greatest move, but if you were going to do it with somebody, there's nobody better to do it with than her. She's crisp in the ring. She treats the fans like fucking gold. She is one of a throwback to the old days, to where I don't want to say doesn't think she's not here to make friends, but she's here for the business. She's business minded. She's not there to, kiss ass, go up north, bra and panties matches, shit like that. She's a wrestler.
We saw her very young in her career down around Pat's house. The story is...
Sorry, go ahead.
Which is South Carolina is where we saw her. Now that it's been years.
Eventually the truth comes out.
Yeah. We saw her in South Carolina, and she was super nice. Like I said, young into the business. She wanted to know everything, and she talked with us for the longest time. And then, John, what was it, maybe a year later, we saw her in New York City, and she remembered us. Legit remembered us. We just didn't see each other. We didn't see her at the same time, but she remembered us separately. And we had the same conversation. And then again, a year later, she was at Rise that took place in Pittsburgh, and it was her against Britt. You had your Tessa shirt on. I had my Britt shirt on. I had my picture with her that I brought up. I'm like, can you sign this? And she gave me some shit. She's like, really? You want me to sign this as you're wearing a Britt Baker shirt? And I'm like, yeah. I said, I love you, but Britt's the hometown girl. That match between her and Britt was amazing. She can work. She's been trained by George South, and Chad said it, she loves the business. Things that she's done in her past, guys, it's wrestling. We all say this, that time in wrestling does heal all wounds. At some point, when she makes the return, it's going to be forgotten because she's a superstar. She is a superstar. She's going to be able to bring it, and she's going to wave this flag for the women for a long time. Will she get some looks of always some naysayers and some haters? Guys, Britt Baker gets that, and what did Britt Baker do? But bust her ass to be a legit dentist and, a professional wrestler at the same time. And I'm not saying anything that Tessa did that Britt didn't do or on the same level or anything, but people just hate because they hate.
People hated Bruno Sammartino. We let off the show with that.
Yep, they hate, yeah. So, Tessa, you're amazing. You really are, one for the fans, one for everything you do in the ring, and carrying on Magnum Antelli's name, because she really does. I follow her on social media, and she is a family person. When we met her, John, and Magnum was there with her little brother and sister, she was helping them do stuff for Magnum. It was awesome. That's where Tessa is to me in my heart. And I'm saying this stupidly, and she's a great worker. I love the family about Tessa and how she respects the fans. Yeah, I'm already ready to cheers her, so go ahead.
So some of the things you guys mentioned, I'll reiterate. As far as what she did or didn't do, listen, I love me some Allison Kay. She seems like a genuine person. I don't know if Tessa owned up to it. I did not hear that, as you mentioned that, Chad. But this, again, is where I quote Al Pacino from Donnie Brasco, one of you's got to be lying. So I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but that's not what we're focusing on. As a talent, she's terrific. She really is. I watched an interview with her where she was training with George. She said she was training with George South. Nobody knew. She called and told her family. She said Magnum told her, it's something like you stink or you're lousy, or you're not very good, but you have that it factor, and now it's time to go out there and be undeniable. And that's where she got the name, the undeniable Tessa Blanchard. You guys talked about how she treats the fans. So early on, Mark, when we saw her, very quickly about that match in South Carolina, she put a head scissor, and I know I've mentioned this, honey, but it was so great. She put a head scissor on her opponent and was grinding her head against the mat and thrusting her hips into it and looking right at the referee and saying, yeah, you like that? That was hilarious, shocking. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was pure pro wrestling. She's doing a wrestling hold and being sexual. It was very funny. We got our pictures taken with her that night. I think she did some Four Horsemen signs. She came out to the Four Horsemen music. The next time we saw her, Mark, a fan came up to her and wanted a picture. And to your point, guys, on how she treats the fans, the fan asked, can we put up 4 fingers? And I don't know what the horns thing is, what college that is, or why she does that. Texas. But she didn't want she didn't want to do the Four Horsemen thing anymore. I think she felt like that kind of got me where I am, but now I need to be my own person. She just said to the fan, how about we do the horns instead? And then he was like, yeah, sure. She wasn't like, oh, my God, I'm so over that. Can we do something else? She made it clear she's going in a different direction without hurting the fans' feelings. That takes a pro to handle a situation like that. It really does. To change course and not hurt somebody's feelings. Again, to your point, Mark, when we saw her in New York and she was trying to remember where she insisted it was North Carolina. We were like, no, it was somewhere in South Carolina. She's like, my stepdad was there. I said, yes. She said, my little brother and sister were helping him sell stuff. I said, yes. She goes, I'm telling you, it's North Carolina. I said, Tessa, I'm going to come back. I'm going to remember the name of the city. And we walked around, and then it hit me. And I went back to her desk. I went, Spartanburg. She goes, oh, all right, shut up. And then one other time was in where big time comes, Altoona. It might have been, I think maybe we saw her in Altoona, but we were walking by, and you saw her first, and then I stopped at her desk for something. And again, she said to me, oh, I just saw your friend. He went that way. I was like, holy cow. I mean, she's got to see thousands of people. That's the sign of a star, too. It really is, guys. People that have that kind of memory for the fans and dates and places, that's a star. I hope she's able to put the other stuff behind her because there's nothing but bright things for her. Some people claim she's the very best. I wouldn't go that far. I still think there are people working right now, women that are working right now that are actually far better. But I think she's awesome, and I think she's got a bright future.
Yeah. And I want to say something real quick, John and Mark. You both, mentioned the stuff in the past and everything. I'll just stick to her. Here is where I have a problem with a lot of that coming out, is that it didn't fucking come out until a day and a half before the biggest night of her life. And I have a problem with that. If you got a problem with somebody, you don't wait till then unless you're a gold digger and looking for fucking attention. You just don't. This isn't, when I say crimes, this isn't a crime that's withheld because of guilt of the victim. This is shit that happens. People slip up. Every one of us have learned a lesson about swearing in front of our parents when we were young. This is that type of situation. Shouldn't have happened, but it did. Is it something to ruin somebody's career on? No. And you make yourself look bad coming out so quick, so close to somebody's biggest night of their life. It's like, I don't want to say it's jealousy, but holy shit, it really can shine that way.
Yeah.
One other quick thing to that point, Chad, that's a fair point you make. The racist thing, whether that's true or not, the spitting on someone, whether that's true or not, those are both terrible things if they're true. But guys, the burying or the wanting to be on top or the cutthroat, welcome to pro wrestling. The lady wants to be on top. I won't falter for that. Are there right and wrong ways to do things? There are arguments about Hulk Hogan buried this guy and that guy and he pushed his friends. Welcome to the business. It takes a tough skin to be in that line of work. So she jumped over somebody.
It happens every day. So.
Yep. Hey, cheers to Tessa Blanchard.
Cheers to Tessa Blanchard. All right, so we got some news on Mickie James's release, and we'll wrap this up rather quickly. Chad, have you ever taken vacation and you usually pack stuff away in, like, luggage?
Yeah.
When you go somewhere.
Luggage, a carry-on, a duffel bag.
Yeah. John, when you have stuff that you don't want anymore, like, where do you put it?
Like you donate it or throw it away.
What do you throw it away in?
A garbage can, a garbage bag.
So Mickie James left some stuff around WWE, right?
Now let me say, I want to throw this in there because I read this last night on this subject. It is a common thing now to where wrestlers will leave items to be brought to events from other events. They won't bring everything.
Right. It's easier for the truck to ship it than them
to drive it than them to fly it and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it wasn't like, she left, dirty fucking underwear and whatever else around the around WWE locker room or
gear.
Yeah,
essentially
gear.
God, we always have to go down that line. So she left some gear behind because whenever she would be on the card, she doesn't have to bring it. It could be, I was going to say catered. It could be washed there and da-da-da-da-da. And she just shows up. She puts her gear on. Boom, ready to go. She's ready to wrestle. Well, she gets this stuff after her release back in a garbage bag with a piece of green duct tape stuck on the garbage bag. Mickie. In a bag. In a box.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
No. Here's your bag of stuff in a garbage bag.
Look it up on Twitter. You can see the whole fucking thing.
He doesn't even know how to spell Twitter. Damn. Now you got me on John. So Mickie sends out this tweet saying, "Hey, thanks WWE and Vince McMahon. I'm paraphrasing, for how many years in the business, this is how I get my stuff back. In a box, in a garbage bag, with a green sticker on it that says Mickey. Good luck in your future endeavors. Peace out.
So, immediate,
the fans went ape shit.
Yeah, the fans went nuts. Nick Aldis said some not so nice things. And that says a lot for him because he's about one of the calmest, fuckers that there are next to Rob Van Dam smoking dope. And Stephanie and Triple H got a hold of it. And immediately, with 30, 45 minutes, they're like, this is not the way we do business, blah, blah, blah. The person responsible for this has been fired and, no longer employed. Turns out they fired 3 people over this and demoted 2 people.
They did the right thing.
Stephanie mentioned Mickie James in her apology tweet, said about the same thing as Triple H. Mickie James answered back to Stephanie's tweet, I appreciate the apology. In no way did I intend for this to get somebody fired. But to be honest with you, it's indicative of the way I was treated the last 3 years I was in WWE. Like garbage.
Essentially, yeah, it was. She did nothing this last run in WWE. To bring her back just to be a noteworthy, possible soon-to-be Hall of Famer for WWE, it was... I want to say they used her more probably as a trainer for some of the youngsters in the business right now. Huh. Do we see her go somewhere?
See what happens with her husband.
Yeah.
Question is, does she still, and this is only she can answer this, does she still have something to offer? Does she still have anything left in the tank? If she does, then yeah, why not?
I think she fits NWA right now. I really do.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
I mean, you have Melina there, you have, Taryn Terrell, you have the younger ones. I think it adds more eyes that Mickie James is there. I think it only helps NWA right now. It's not a heavy schedule whatsoever. You got anything else?
Just one couple of little quick things here. MLW is coming back on TV. They're going to be on, is it Access? I think they're going to be coming on to. Also, of note, a little bit of history was made. MLW's Tom Lawler, Filthy Tom Lawler, won the New Japan Pro Wrestling Never Openweight title. Might say, well, what's this big deal? Talent exchange, blah, blah, blah. This is the first one out of MLW that has won a New Japan title, and it's signifying New Japan opening up who they're working with. I mean, it's a big deal. I watched the match last night. I watched the whole card. Dude just looks... He's... I hate to say it, cliche, he's fucking filthy. He's a nasty bastard.
Filthy.
I mean, he just right in front of the ref. It was a no disqualification match. He's on his knees begging for mercy, and the guy's standing there. He just hauled off and punched him right in the dick.
Where?
And the ref's like, turkey platter-sized eyes telling him you can't do that. It's a no. He looks at the ref. He's like, it's a no disqualification match, fucker.
Wow.
But that aside, the humor with that aside, he's a very good wrestler. He's teaming with, who's the big Hawaiian dude? Jeff Cobb.
Yep.
Who is with Will Ospreay, who is a New Japan World Champion. Got to go to New Japan, guys. 999,999 yen a month, which translates into those math gurus like me, $9.95 American dollars.
Wow.
It's well worth it. They probably have 15 or more events a month. And they're putting their USA, with them coming to the USA and doing the touring with restrictions lifting and stuff. They're putting those shows on there also. If you get these, $10 a month, you get everything live for free. Okay, granted, when it's not in the USA, you're talking 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, but the fucking replay is that day. You get the replay it is on their network by lunchtime.
Our lunchtime,
yeah.
Guys, I know we kind of poo-pooed a little bit on AEW this week, but I took a step back yesterday, and this is the way I'm going to end it, then I'll let you guys wrap it up. I took a step back yesterday as I went back to IWC for the first time in, 8 months or whatever it's been since I've been to a live event, and I thought, listen, I'm going to tell you winners, and we can talk about the show later on this week once John watches or whatever, but I took a step back, and I'm like, thank God I'm able to do this again and watch. And I will say I got to see some of my friends, Andrew Palace, Big Time Bill Collier. Wait, before you go off and say what you
No. This was a good thing. It was something I forgot. Go ahead.
I took a step back, and I'm like, man, we really are in a great era of wrestling. It's on legit TV every night of the week. If there's something that you don't watch or don't like we bitch about Raw every week, but I'm still going to watch it because they'll bring me in. Or AEW stunk this week or something. I'm not saying I don't like the product across the board. It's just sometimes the storylines make us mad. And that's what wrestling's about. So enjoy the entertainment. Enjoy the sport. Enjoy the battle. And again, I want to say thanks to the IWC guys for doing that to me yesterday. From Andrew Palace to Collier to Hooven to Jamie to Mandime. I mean, I'm just going to name the roster. You guys put on a hell of a show yesterday, and I enjoyed it. And as a wrestling fan, what you guys do week in, week out, month in, month out, and I mean this to anybody listening in the WWE. Thank you. You keep me entertained, and that's why I love the business. I will bitch because I don't want it. It's not going my way. Someday it'll go my way, and I'll be like, yeah, I love wrestling. So you guys can wrap it up.
Three quick
little
things. I did forget something. A, fuck Pat Lupino. We didn't have that in. B, Jock Sampson, you're still a fat bastard. And I'm going to end it on a positive, and I'm going to say something nice about Jackson Argos. If y'all hadn't seen a post earlier this week, Argos made a pillow of Bill Collier, likeness of Bill Collier, for Bill Collier's infant daughter. It is really fucking cool. It shows his artistry and everything. And, you know, Argos is a douchebag at times, more often than not, but this was really fucking cool. Really something. Look up Bill Collier. It's on his Facebook page. There's, you know, banner back and forth about it, but that was something really cool that Argos did.
Remember, Chad, just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things.
It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.
He's finally got it.